The anti-Wall Street protesters plan to intensify their campaign by hitting the system where it hurts and stage a work walkout next Wednesday. It's after another heavy police crackdown at one of the peaceful protests. Video of an Iraq War veteran being seriously injured in Oakland went viral, hardening campaigners' resolve. Let's talk more about this now with David Korten. He's author of the book When Corporations Rule the World. David, thanks for being on RT tonight. This group called Iraq Veterans Against the Wall claim it was the police that threw a heavy object, maybe a gas canister, they think, that hit Scott Olson's head. Does what happened in Oakland show the police were out of control, do you think?
Well, the police are actually in a very difficult position. They're kind of caught between the establishment that feels them, and occasionally there are acts of violence from the protest, but those come from a fringe element. Clearly, the bulk of the protesters are deeply committed to nonviolence, which is extremely important. And I think the police sometimes fail to recognize that when they attack nonviolent protesters, it really exposes the corruption of the system and the fact that the police ultimately are fielded to protect the 1%. And not to protect the free speech rights of the rest of us.
David, I guess,
but it actually draws more support for the protest.
Yeah, and I guess as this goes on, tempers are going to get more and more frayed, no matter what the best intentions are. Also, we've got these reports suggesting many people in Oakland are now calling for the city's mayor to step down after this incident. Do you think it's going to escalate further?
Well, my focus is not on the individual Oakland protest. I'm much more concerned about the big picture, and my excitement about the protests is the fact that they are finally drawing attention to the fact that we have an economy, actually not only in the United States but in the world, that is predominantly working for the 1% of people who control the financial system. It is not working well for the 99%. And we've had so much conversation in the United States fueled by corporate media focusing attention on the problem as Obama or the problem as the government, skipping over the fact that Wall Street has created an economy that is devoted primarily to making money for rich people through playing financial games, and that we have to address that issue. People are complaining that the Occupy Wall Street people don't have clear demands. It's actually quite clear what they want. They want their economy back. They want their government back. They want their future back. And they actually want a country that operates by principles of true democracy and real markets, which work for everyone.
All well and good, but it's into week 6.
I wouldn't get too distracted by individual incidents in Oakland.
Sorry, there's a slight delay on the line there. Sorry to butt over you there, David. Yeah, it's all very well and good, but it's into week 6 now, and are they actually being listened to? Are they making any headway, do you think?
Well, 6 weeks is a very short time. This is part of a very, very deep frustration. What it does is it points attention at the real source of the pain that people are feeling across the United States and the world, and it opens a space for a conversation about what is the purpose of the economy, who is the economy working for, why, what do we need to do to create an economy that actually works for everyone. This is a conversation that we should have been having many years ago, and surely it's a conversation that should have been provoked or stimulated by the Wall Street crash in 2008. In fact, it wasn't. The corporate media managed to deflect attention in other directions, but the Occupy Wall Street protests are really pointing the finger where it belongs and opening that conversation. Now, it actually took it took 30 years for the Wall Street forces to create the devastation that they have created. It's not going to be corrected in 6 weeks.
David, what a turbulent year this has been, 2011. I mean, we saw an Arab Spring. We've seen basically a European summer, if you want to call it that, talking about events in Athens and London, an American autumn. Do you think we're heading for a worldwide winter? Are these global protests going to branch out even further, do you think?
Well, I think, it's very interesting that here in the country, that where we pride ourselves in being the birthplace of modern democracy, that the inspiration for these protests is in part coming from the Arab Spring. But I do think it is very significant that people all around the world are organizing, feeling a sense of solidarity, and actually demanding real democracy, demanding accountability from their governments, but also, particularly in the Wall Street protests, pointing attention to the fact that one of our major barriers to true democracy is the abuse of the financial power of Wall Street to buy and control our politicians, and to bias the rules in favor of supporting Wall Street speculation, bailing out banks rather than bailing out people, where we need a fundamentally different set of economic policies that are focused on building Main Street economies that actually work by true market principles, and getting true democracy that's based on one person, one vote, rather than one Wall Street dollar, one vote.
David, thanks ever so much. David Korten, author of the book When Corporations Rule the World.